Today we're taking everyone's favorite 90s aliens. We're taking Toejam, we're taking Earl, and we're putting them in a movie. Toejam and Earl the movie. Hello everyone, welcome back to Screen to Screen. I'm Andrew and this is Chris.
Why, hello there.
Toejam and Earl, they're two cool aliens, two funky aliens from the planet Funkatron.
That's how you know they're cool.
Yeah, and so they end up on Earth through, I think Earl kind of messes up and he sort of sneezes or something, and the ship lands on Earth and kind of crashes, and their ship flies apart into pieces, and now it's up to them to sort of figure out where these pieces are, grab them, put them back together, and get off of Earth. Yeah, so I think that's the first thing we probably need to touch on is, how is this Earth? Like, how is this like levels of road and land? How is this Earth? You were suggesting perhaps they're fourth dimensional beings.
Yeah, because this is not what Earth looks like.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very good idea. It's sort of like their ship is fourth dimensional, it gets scattered all these places. All these people are, you know, they're interacting with these alien creatures. Perhaps maybe that's why they are sort of freaked out by them. And then you have these like little devil characters, and we don't see them because they're probably fourth dimensional beings too.
Yeah.
I'd like to suggest that the fourth dimension is funk.
Ooh, yeah.
I
think
think that has to be it. So.
The notion of funk is the fourth dimension.
Right, and because they're so funky, they can phase through these dimensions.
Yeah.
I also feel like it might be kind of a fun angle if these guys are... Their coolness is very set in the 90s, and perhaps they've arrived on Earth modern day.
Yeah.
And so they're sort of like...
They're way out of date.
They're way out of date, like, but... technically, they're not out of date because this is just what cool is on Funkatron.
They're out of date as far as Earth is concerned.
But they appear to be out of date. They appear to be a little behind. I think that's kind of funny. But I don't know. These guys seem like they're party boys.
They certainly do appear to be party boys.
They want to do a party, and I think that might be something that sort of gets in their way of their goal, perhaps. I think the opening is we get to know these guys. We get to see how cool they are on their planet. Maybe they're in a ship for some... I don't think it would be like a mission or something. I think this is just them like cruising around.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're probably on their way to a party.
Yeah, they're on their way to a party, and then like, you know, Earl does something that crashes the ship. Maybe that's part of his character arc. He needs to learn how to be less clumsy or whatever, or kind of like pay attention, or I don't know. Just like he needs to kind of improve, and maybe Toejam needs to be more forgiving of his friend. I don't know. That's just an idea I threw out there.
Gotcha.
And they crash land on Earth. I think maybe we've already established at this point that they're fourth dimensional creatures.
Yeah, I mean, that could just be like throwaway lines they talk about while they're on the ship. Or...
I mean, we could show that at like a party at the beginning. Maybe they're going from one party to another, because that's all they do.
That's what they do.
And in the first party, like you see like the room just transform because they have zapped into the fourth dimension, like or a fourth dimension into the funk
dimension.
Into the funk dimension. Now here's a question: How do we show this? Are we going to? Is our movie going to look like this? Like for the most part, is it going to have these like levels like this?
I think we have to at least do it once, but you could have fun situations where like they're seeing this and they're like, oh my god, oh, and trying to get stuff, and then you cut to like old woman checking her mail, and you see these guys rolling around in garbage.
Right.
Like, we perceive them not in the fourth dimension proper, we just kind of perceive them.
Right. They're from Funkatron. That's the name of their planet. They probably go party on other planets. Otherwise, why are they cruising around in space for? What's the point of that?
They go everywhere for parties.
So, yeah, all right. So,
but they've never partied on Earth because it's a third-dimensional planet. It's not part of the proper Funkiverse.
They don't have the funk dimension on Earth, or at least the beings of Earth have not inhabited the funk dimension.
Exactly. When they crash on Earth, the first thing they do is they check their little computer, and it's like, this isn't in the funky charts at all.
Yeah. The funk charts are off or the funk meter is off the charts. Like, oh yeah, but in the other direction.
What? There's the unfunk?
There's no funk here. or maybe Toejam's the coolest guy in Funkatron, and Earl becomes the coolest guy on Earth.
That's also good.
And Toejam can't like so he used to have this like his sidekick who was always kind of just went along with everything.
The power dynamic shift. That's a good one.
If Toejam is so cool and so secure, then why does he need a sidekick? And there's like the idea where like, well, he's not so secure, and also like this guy's really his friend. Like there's all those things to sort of kind of suggest there.
Yeah, and we can really set all that up in the first act while they're partying in different locations. Like Earl is always more of a like comedy relief. He feels like he's always kind of the butt of jokes, but he's still having a good time.
Yeah, I think he is impervious to insult. Like, maybe the only time where he gets upset is like at the lowest point. Like he's almost like a Silent Bob kind of character.
Right.
Like he is a man of few words. Like that is the case in the game. Well, he'll have to say probably more in the movie. He's impervious to insult. When people are laughing at him, well, he's bringing the party. You know, he's making people happy. You know, if his his pants fall down or something and it's a silly goof, then he's just brought joy into people's lives and he's just having a good time. And I think people get that. I don't think they're like, oh, what an idiot. They're like, Earl, he's a funny guy. Look at he's I think that's how it is. And like Toejam likes that dynamic.
All right.
He's sort of comfortable with being the suavest Mac Daddy around. And he has this like Earl is sort of like his backup,
So maybe we have an antagonist in the form of maybe a government agent who finds one of the ship parts and it's like, I knew it.
Okay.
I knew there were funky aliens.
It's sort of like a ticking clock kind of.
A ticking clock, and he's an anti-funk man because he's always suspected there's a funk dimension, and he hates it.
I think that's kind of fun, and he's also probably very uncool.
Oh, incredibly uncool.
He's a huge narc.
Like when he discovered as a teenager that there might be a higher dimension that is based in funk, like he was a smart kid, he tinkered. He just rubber band in the opposite direction, just like, funk is evil, because that's what aliens like.
I mean, maybe he was like a teen in the 90s, and he's kind of grown up and is now like bitterly against funk.
Yes, he was never cool. He hated funk. He discovers the possibility of an alien dimension of funk.
I could see something like, Toejam is like, if you're so cool, then you just go off and have your parties by yourself, and then like maybe Earl gets captured by the guy.
Yes.
And now Toejam is like, oh my, what have I done? And now he's got to go back to a party he ruined with his sass. And he's like, I need your help, guys. Earl's in trouble, or like
a true funk master never abandons his friends.
Yeah, or like a true funk master doesn't, because like Earl, he was impervious to insult. Like anything that got thrown at him, he was fine with it. But Toejam's more insecure, and he couldn't handle it, and that's what made him mad.
Yeah.
And he's like I'm not cool. What's cool is like keeping your cool. You know
what's cool? Staying in school.
Staying in school. That's what's cool.
But then we could have, we cut away to like the government lab where Earl's being captured and kept, and he just doesn't see any threats. It's just goofy, like
I love that
experiments that don't go anywhere,
like funny experiments. I want to explore the funk dimension a little bit in terms of like how are we utilizing it as more than just a set piece? Like how does it work into the plot? How does it work into the theme? Like how do these tiers of Earth? How do they work? Like, they help them get away, I imagine.
Yeah, I assume, like, anytime the government agent was getting close, they didn't use it on purpose. It's one of those, like...
At first, yeah. And I think eventually they'll start to
use it on purpose, yeah.
And maybe at the midpoint, they're like, hey, who's that? Like, they'll start to notice it. Yeah. I think the overarching story, and I feel we've kind of gotten away from it, but they have to be getting their ship parts together. Like that's still like the main.
I imagine Act 2 they get most of them, but of course, like one has to be in a hard to get place. So the government is a good antagonist to have that final piece.
You know what? I know what scene I want in this movie.
What scene do you want?
The scene that's in Ninja Turtles 2. I want that Vanilla Ice sort of
God.
I want to have like a scene where they accidentally have to do like a rap song or something like that.
I mean, yes.
I think that.
And also, it should be a full totally completed rap song that like is the whole plot of the movie.
There's also there's presents too. Like we should probably work that into the story. Maybe regular high tops have the effect of being super on fourth dimensional funk beings.
Exactly, like their funky nature changes things.
Yeah, like they can utilize the whole of it rather than just the 3 dimensions.
I mean, here's a fun idea.
Okay.
So I mentioned before, like we see them doing things in what we see when we look at Earth, and it looks like they're just doing weird things that are nonsensical, but for them, they're seeing the funk dimension when they're traveling and looking for their funk parts, because we can't really perceive them properly.
Yeah.
So, like, when they're rolling around in garbage and an old lady's watching them, like, they're opening presents. For them, like, these are powerful things.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. They're finding garbage, but like, or I should say, like, the presents really are there. It's just that because we can't see the funk dimension, we see them going through garbage.
Yeah, they're just, like, on the street corner opening
I like that.
Garbage bags.
Yeah, that's good. That kind of gets around the whole thing, because I'm like, why are they opening someone else's presents?
Yeah.
But I like that. It's sort of like these boxes contain, funk dimensional objects.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And if at some point we have a human character to kind of be an audience surrogate, we can have them wear super funky glasses that lets them see the funk dimension.
Or I think if you're funky enough, you can just do it.
But you don't know innately. They have to teach you. Otherwise, why hasn't this been a thing?
I think Toejam loses his funk power.
Ooh, see, that's good.
That's the lowest point.
He's so bummed that his buddy's so popular that he loses his innate funk.
Like he can't get into the elevator. Like, Earl, there's no elevator here. He's like, what are you talking about?
Maybe he's so unfunky that he stops looking like Earl. Toejam, he looks like just some guy.
Like he looks like a human?
He looks like a boring human.
Now
that might be too much.
I don't know. I feel like they gotta look like themselves.
All right.
And I also feel like it's one of these things where, maybe it's sort of like what's it called? Quantum Leap, where we as the audience we see them as Toejam and Earl, but they don't in the non-funk dimensions of Earth, they see them as just people.
I mean, that might be useful in the how is this movie progressing?
Right.
Like, obviously, if there's aliens rummaging through trash,
right? Yeah. All right. So I kind of like that sort of like look in the mirror and we're human, sort of thing. Like,
that's good. I think that is a good idea.
Like the whole time, like just to be clear, like the whole time we're going to be seeing these 2 aliens.
Yeah.
But only when we like cut to maybe like rummaging through trash is when we see their human form.
Whenever we're seeing them through the point of view of a human being, so like when they're in parties, we can cut between the 2 different viewpoints.
Though I don't even think I think we can keep them as they are, and just like for comedic value, for plot points, we see them.
We see they're human.
Yeah, but like even if it's just like hanging out at a party, like I feel like we're gonna see them.
This is good because Toejam might maybe get arrested at the very beginning because he's naked. He's just wearing sneakers.
I guess that's true. Well, he's got he doesn't have pants on.
Yeah, I mean, when you do the sneaking in the game, you see his butt.
We could. I mean, this could even be a sort of like it's a stupid joke, but I feel like we could say it where it's like. He's walking around naked, and someone looks at him. Is like, "What? You never see a guy with 3 legs before?" It's like a little stupid.
A very good someone wrote that joke.
Yeah. I'm really having a hard time figuring out the get all the stuff plot. Like, it doesn't have to. Like, there's like 18 parts in the game or something. Like, we could make it way less.
You have to. Like there's no way you could have that many beats unless you want to have like a montage. I have it.
Okay.
The parts are always named after like super cool things. Like they have funk in the name, they have rap in the name. maybe the parts are also attracted to funk, so that's why they have to go to parties. That's how you find out.
They've got like a magnetic kind of pull toward punk.
So like
toward funk, yeah.
So like one piece ends up in like some fraternity house that parties every day.
Okay.
Another one ends up at like some Hollywood bigwig who parties all the time.
Right. So they've got all right.
And
so
that forces them to go to parties.
I like that.
It allows Earl to shine in the parties. Toejam has his falling out, and his doubts are formed, and that's how we get our little schism going.
Okay.
The government agent having like seen maybe in the atmosphere the ship breaking up.
I think
he finds a piece at a party and steals it, shuts the party down.
Yeah. I could see. All right. So like the ship crashes. And like they get out of like the rubble or whatever, they're fine. They're doing okay.
They just like they land in a dump or something.
Then in a dump, because that's where the presents are.
That's where we can establish the first one.
Yeah, or actually they maybe on an island, because that's how the game starts.
Oh yeah. They just land in water. Even though we all know if you land in water from the upper atmosphere, you're going to die.
Right, yeah.
It is a 90s movie.
But it is a 90s movie.
They'll be fine.
And also like
they're
funk
aliens.
and everything. Yeah.
Funk, yeah.
So then they establish like, okay, we need to find all the parts, and they take out like a little computer or something, and the computer's like cool, everything's cool in Funkatron.
Ooh, the computer could even be a character.
Yeah.
It could just be like a super funky robot.
Sure. And it lets them know that their ship parts are attracted to funk, and while there's not as much funk on this planet, it's sort of like in order to keep the parts from, I don't know, like deteriorating or something, they've been drawn to the lowest levels of funk, or the highest levels of funk they can find,
the highest concentrations of funk.
And so
that gives us a bunch of fun set pieces.
Yeah,
because you could have like the Hollywood actor who's just partying every day.
Yeah.
You have the fraternity house that's constantly partying.
I mean, they could like land in like LA or something.
Yeah, that has to be where it is.
Yeah,
that's where Earth girls are easy to place. So.
And so then we cut to now a B plot where we got the scientist who's like reading like his what you call those, the earthquake machines there.
Seismometer.
Yeah, seismometers are like going back and forth, but it's not a seismometer.
You actually see he scratched out the word size and wrote funkometer.
Yeah. And he's like, wait, no, this is impossible.
These
funk levels are far too high.
They're dangerously high.
And he and all his like superiors are like, you have to stop doing this.
He's like the butt of a joke.
Yeah, like it's such a ridiculous concept, and he's like, no, like,
if your father didn't found this company.
Yeah, right.
This agency or whatever.
One of those things, but he was like visited by a funk alien as a kid. I don't know. He has to have a reason to believe it.
He had such like an overwhelming party when he had a funk visitor that it spoiled funk for him. He was too young for that much funk.
Yeah. He's like a step or two behind them. Every like plot point they go through, he goes to that same location the day after the party.
I like this.
Oh, they were here.
It'll seem like to us that he's always one step behind, but like the big reveal for the Act 3 moment is, oh, I got a piece. I got the funkiest piece of your ship there is.
Yeah, like he heads them off. Like he finds, because he's got maybe better tools than they do.
Yeah, he has more resources.
Yeah, and so he finds one of the pieces before they do, and so they're led right to him.
We should probably have them meet like someone to be a human buddy.
Yeah. I
help
think
them
so.
out.
Maybe a hula girl. Like,
yeah.
Just like maybe that's like her job. She's like at a Hawaiian themed restaurant.
No one
or something.
thinks it's cool, but they know it's funky. Because
yeah.
doing what you like and not caring what other people think is the funkiest thing of all.
Right. Yeah. Maybe she's like really into, like, she wants to be a dancer, and this is how she's like paying the bills. Like she wants to do like a she's going to school for it or something.
Yeah.
And like, no one respects her because she's at like a tiki bar kind of theme.
But she's already so funky that she can sort of see what they really are, but not quite.
Yeah.
But then she gets the funky glasses, and like, they have that moment.
Maybe Earl's glasses are funk glasses.
Yeah.
And you can just give them to her. I still want to work in the low level baddies. There's got to be a shark. Well, the shark should be at the beginning.
Well, yeah, that could just be getting off the island.
They land on Garbage Island. They land on.
Oh yeah, that's good. A small like offshore dumping shopping area.
I think that's the way to go. And they have all these gifts there. They're seeing that the dump is filled with presents because they're looking in the funk dimension. And there's like one worker there's like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. A fun idea for Garbage Island is so 90s stuff is funky to them, but to us it's garbage at this point.
Right, yeah.
It's like they're like opening old things from the 90s that to them is like super funky and useful.
Yeah. So like, hey, look at these high tops, and they're like old and
moldy,
ripped. But we see it in their perspective, and they're like shiny and awesome looking.
They got a bunch of blinky lights going on.
Yeah. They're incredibly 90s.
They're super cool.
Yeah. So now they're like, okay, well, we have to. Our ship is all messed up, and they open up their onboard computer because maybe that's the only part that's left.
Yeah, it's. I like the idea of it being just like a funky little cool robot voice coming out of like maybe
it's the FPS, the funk positioning system.
There you go, the FPS.
Yeah. And so the FPS tells them where their parts are.
Yeah.
Like the parts have been scattered to all these like the highest concentration of funk possible on this planet. Then we cut to the nerdy scientist who he gets the reading. It's like these levels of funk they're off the charts.
It's just like that time when I was a child.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this for years, and
I'll have my revenge.
So Toejam and Earl go to they're walking to their first party. They meet some uncool characters like, oh, what is this place? And they finally get to the first. Oh yeah, and also they have to pass by a shark to get off the island. I just want to make that a thing. And so they get to the party, and like it's super cool and everything, and then we meet like the hula dancer, and she's like, you guys aren't from around here, are you?
Yeah, she's like the performer at the first party they go to.
Yeah, and they're because they're so like seemingly out of date.
They think she's super awesome, funky, cool.
Yeah.
But she like booed off the stage.
Right. Because it's such a it's so kitschy. And maybe she doesn't stick to the script. She tries to improvise or something. And so she kind of gives them. Do they let her know their secret? She's like April O'Neil. Like, does she know they're aliens? Or like maybe you were saying like she's so funky that she can start to kind of see them.
So like they have like a shimmery look to them. Like she could kind of see the outline of their alien selves.
And so she kind of like gets in on it, and whatever. She's fine with it. They're aliens. Like we go through some sort of.
She's cool and accepting.
like there's a scene where she's like, I don't believe this is happening to me, and then she accepts it. Yeah. Like that's how you do it.
It's the Ninja Turtle way.
Ooh, what if we just change this a little bit, where the parts don't get attracted to funk, it creates funk.
Ooh.
Parties happen where the parts are.
I gotcha.
I think that could
be fun.
Like
that way it's anomalous, and that's how they're able to figure out where the funk is.
Yeah. There's like a funk in a warehouse. There's like a funk on the beach. Like there's a funk
at a fraternity, but it's the nerd fraternity.
Yeah. That's when it's maybe that's how she figures it out. When she's like, wait a minute, like how is this?
Delta Phi is throwing a party,
and then like the idea is like everyone could be funky.
Yeah, we're born funky.
Yeah,
we learn how not to be funky.
Yes, that's what it is. We're born funky. We learn how to not. So now they're collecting their parts. They're going to parties to collecting their parts, and Earl is starting to become more cool. Like people on Earth are responding more to him than to Toejam.
Yeah.
Maybe like the hula dancer is like kind of agrees with Earl most of the time when there's a plan to be had, and it makes Toejam a little jealous. Like there's no a romantic relationship with these characters, but because Toejam's such a ladies' man, he's like feeling slighted that Earl, and so they're finding more ship parts, they're building it, and it's nearing completion, but
of course it's causing a huge party all around the ship because it's all these parts in one place.
Maybe they locked the ship up inside like the IRS basement, just to like fight the funk.
To something keep it so unfunky.
But
of course, like as the movie moves on, like the IRS starts getting a little bit too funky.
It starts to sort of like. I think that's pretty funny. I think they have some sort of conversation where Toejam kind of like lets Earl be like, you don't have to be so, up in everyone's face all the time. Like he's starting to like get his jealousy gets to him. He's not the cooler one now. He's the sidekick on Earth, and it's getting to him. And
like the final straw could be Hula Girl turns to Earl and says, "What should we do next?"
Yeah,
like,
yeah, right.
A small moment like that is the straw that breaks the camel back for
right
for Toejam.
And so this is maybe where they're starting. They have a bit of their falling out. They're so close to completing the ship, but now it's sort of like, hey, you like Earth so much, why don't you just stay here? I'm gonna go find the ship parts on my own. And that's when the scientist guy finds Earl.
Yeah.
He grabs him, and then like Toejam comes back just in time to see like the truck go away with Earl, and now he's like, oh, what have I done? That's so not funky.
God, this is the least funky thing I've ever done.
Or actually, right before that, like Toejam goes to like the elevator to like go look for more parts, but like it disappears, and he's like, what? He's like, I've lost my funk,
and
he turns around.
FPS could be like, your funk levels, they're very low.
It's like, Toejam, you just did something very unfunky.
I don't think I could be your computer anymore.
Shutting off.
Shutting down.
And then he looks behind him, and like Earl's getting taken away, and now he goes to the Hula Girl. It's like I messed up, and Earl's in trouble, and he the last piece of the ship. Maybe at this point they find out, or maybe they don't know that the bad guy has it, and so he and the Hula Girl kind of like, I don't know. They find this guy somehow. Like maybe she's got funk now. Maybe she's got maybe between the two of them, there's enough funk to power the FPS.
Funk. Yeah, I mean FPS. He can pop back in and be like, "You've learned this."
Yeah. So then there's like the big funk showdown. Maybe the maybe the building that he's in like is also a nightclub, just like in Ninja Turtles 2. And
there you go.
And they crash to the wall, and Vanilla Ice is playing, and they do the alien dance. Go alien go.
go alien go.
Everyone finds their funk. Toejam regains his funk. He realizes that he's been hoarding all the funk. He's not been a good friend. He's been too insecure, and he's like, friends are supposed to pick each other up,
Yeah.
And I've been leaning on you, Earl, rather than picking. This is a team effort.
Yeah.
And when we go to parties, you're not my sidekick, you're my friend.
We just need one more decision to be made. Do we want to have the kind of ending where this unfunky man finds his funk and they kind of leave on a good note, or do we want to go with he never learns to get his funk back and they just escape?
We could have a sort of almost both.
Alright.
That maybe he works for the government or whatever, or
the government's always the unfunkiest thing.
Yeah, and the government was telling him he was a fool all these years, but they've been keeping an eye on him.
Yeah, so like he captures the alien and the government's like, he was right.
Or it's like, as we knew, you were right. We'll take it from here.
There you go.
And so then,
and that's so unfunky that he's like, oh my God.
Yeah. So then there's like, they have sort of like a rap battle. Like it's a rap battle.
Okay.
Like their words like blast people away. Like the government agents are like, ah.
Yeah, just flying around.
Yeah.
This is good.
Like their sick beats and their fat raps are just like
too much for these government agents.
And the two of them, they're going at it together. They've got each other's back. Like they're picking up one verse and putting down the other verse, and they're just going back and forth, tag team rap battle.
And then in a moment where it seems like they're going to lose, the government agent grabs the mic and lays down a sick beat.
I think maybe it starts off, it's a very lame rap. But he starts to get his like,
he gets his funk
back, and then he kind of ends strong, and like the crowd's like, yeah.
You were unfunky, but you found your funk.
Yeah.
Have that resolution.
Yeah.
Everyone completes their arcs.
Everyone's found their funk.
Yeah.
And the Hula Girl becomes like, she I don't know, like maybe we check
someone catches all this on camera.
Yeah.
And she goes viral.
And
then her business blows up.
Yeah.
So like you could have a nice little scene where we see like they go away, they go back to their funk dimension, they're better friends than they ever were. She's like a huge sensation.
Yeah, she's like a pop star now.
Yeah.
And, their work here is done. They've got all their ship parts.
God, this is the most 90s ending you could possibly do. It's perfect.
Yeah. I think fully embracing the 90s is the way to do this. Like you can turn it on its head if you want. And we could turn it on its head for like a few different parts of this movie.
Oh, definitely.
But I don't have a huge problem with it just sort of having a cheesy 90s ending. It's fun.
I like cheesy 90s endings. Like, they're usually my favorite part of older movies.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get this anymore.
Yeah,
like, there's something fun about, like, the unrealistically happy, like, hey, everyone got what they're looking for, everyone learned lessons.
It doesn't seem like Toejam and Earl is a property that should be too deep.
No,
it's a very fun, silly thing.
It should be about embracing what you think is cool and funky, and like that's what the movie ultimately ends up being. Like the hula girl, she has her own version of what she thinks is cool, and that is cool because she thinks it's cool.
Yeah.
The terrible government agent isn't a great rapper, but he just happens to say things that really resonate with people.
Right.
And that makes him cool. Like it's about finding your own fun.
And if you got any other ideas for Screen to Screen, let us know in the comments. And we'll see you next time here on Screen to Screen.